Well, nobody see this coming, and by that I mean, well, when AMC started, actually doing his thing, when the short squeeze was at the very beginning back in January of 2021, everybody got here trying to think that it will be something that will actually unfold in a matter of weeks. Then the share price tanked, it went from 20 to 5. And then from there, some people got out of the ship because you know what they said, hey, we only live once. And because of that, I lost. So let me just get out of this thing because it's a dead cat. But the true believers, the true holders, the diamond apes and hands, the diamond hands as we know them to be, really held on hard and even add some more, maybe people who were holding on the 16, maybe people who got in on the 12 and everything. So there was a chance for them to actually average down. All right. Now, when from that point forward, boom, it went all the way up to $72 in just a matter of 6 months. That was in June. All right. So based on that, some people get out, definitely for sure. But some other people decided, because it went to 70, then it means it has the potential to even go to 7,200 per share. Reason why I don't need to sell now, because if I sell now, I may be selling for pennies. All right. And we were all thinking that based on everything that was happening back then and that was accounted for as catalyst, we would expect it to actually unfold and the share price to go to the moon and the short squeeze to actually do what it was supposed to do before the end of 2021. All right. But it didn't happen. Obviously, it didn't happen because we are still here, trying to track and cover exactly everything within the market that can actually finally get us to that moon. All right. Now, we are already March, the beginning of the last quarter of 2022. And yet, AMC, instead of even hovering and hanging around maybe $50 a share, has dropped significantly. And now we can't even barely hang around 20. And at the time I'm recording this video, AMC is still sitting around maybe $16.50 a share. Now, does that mean that everything is done? Everything is over? No, that's not what I'm saying. And that's not what it means. But where I think we all need to start questioning ourselves, if not already being done, because if you haven't done that, maybe it's kind of too late for you, is coming to this. Am I ready to still hold this for the next 2 years? That's one of the questions I think a bunch of us don't even want to start thinking about. Why? Because it means that, hey, my calculation and my expectations may be wrong. And because of that, the money I put in here may be not the money I'm willing to let sit for 2 years, or the money I'm willing not to do what it was supposed to do when I put it in this stock. You kind of see where I'm going with this? I mean, the point is, if we all think that this was supposed to squeeze before 2021, it didn't squeeze, all right? Now, it may squeeze, I don't know, or maybe some people may think, well, let's just wait for June, because as of now, March 6th, we have a bunch of rules. We have a bunch of changes coming into the regulation space, coming into how short selling business is conducted, how the lending and borrowing business is conducted, how drug pools will be, regulated and, monitored by both the regulators, the Department of Justice, and a bunch of other federal agencies across the nation. I guess that if you are thinking what I'm thinking, you're thinking, you may be expecting this to actually happen around, I don't know, the next couple of months, because all of these changes have really the ability to really stop and prevent or totally delete what was preventing the share price from squeezing. And I'm talking about the whole manipulation through the synthetics, through the naked shorts, through, all of these tactics that short sellers have been using so far that specifically the Department of Justice is actually investigating them for. Block trade is one of another piece of it. But if that doesn't happen in the next 3 months, all right, if the results and the consequences of all of this work that these guys are doing, is not really happening because for one reason or another, the hedge funds, the short sellers tried or found another way to actually get their way. I mean, it's not impossible, especially when you look at Citadel. Citadel is really one of the biggest companies in the whole financial world, not even only in the US. They have their hands in everything. So, a company that big, I would not expect them to actually fold this easily, because we're talking about, big money change here. Remember that when you invest in the stock market, when you win, somebody else is losing. And for us to win, they actually have to lose by paying us, the amount that we want them to pay because we own the real shares. All right. So for them to actually let us go away with a bunch of that money that actually will come from their pockets, it's not going to be an easy thing. All right. So if you are not willing and ready to have your money invested into AMC sit for the next 2 years or even for the next 18 months, because the reality is nobody knows exactly when the short is going to happen. It may happen tomorrow. I mean, literally, it may happen tomorrow. We can wake up and see this thing trading at $500 a share. I would love to see that, but that means going to happen? Nobody knows. If I knew, I would have been sitting here making videos for you guys. I will be, kind of, on a beach somewhere on the Virgin Islands or, in the French islands, drinking and enjoying a good mojito. So just to say that, well, even if bunch of catalysts may definitely happen and send us to the moon, again, as soon as tomorrow or next week or next month or the next quarter, it may also happen in the next couple of years. But are you willing and ready to actually let that sink in and actually be rational in your approach about this whole thing squeezing? If you're not ready, then maybe you were not ready at the beginning. I mean, to begin with, to be worthy of all the money that's going to come into your hands when this thing squeezes. Because the bottom line is, it's not a matter of if AMC is going to squeeze. It's a matter of when that's going to happen.